The following information, material, and content is covered under fair use. This is for commenting, teaching, and training purposes only. Again, this is for commenting, teaching, and training purposes only. This does not constitute tax advice, financial advice, nor legal advice. If you need any applicable advice, please seek competent counsel. Do your own due diligence, regardless of who presents the information. All rights, titles, and actions or interests reserved ab initio without prejudice. Hey everyone, this is B with To Be Fruitful Training Group. All praises to the Most High. And today we're covering company structure and business hierarchy. A lot of people ask the question, do I need to structure my business? Isn't having just a single entity, an LLC, corporation, partnership, etc., isn't that enough? And the simple answer is, a lot of times, no. Due to the administration of tax laws and the current state of affairs in a lot of countries, having a single entity is a lot of times not sufficient. So what are the benefits of structuring the business then? Well, for one, it allows you to choose where the business is a resident for taxation and tax purposes. Now, there are a lot of different tax jurisdictions all over. Some are more private than others. Some offer more credits, which means higher returns annually or quarterly, however you file. So there's a lot of different benefits and variation as far as tax jurisdictions. Another key benefit is structuring your business properly allows you to effectively manage the liability of suits. Something that a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners don't realize is that when an entity, especially a single entity business, is involved with a lawsuit and the judge places an injunction or a restraining order on the business, a lot of times operations have to cease. This can cause quite a financial hardship and strain ongoing relationships with clients, etc. So what it allows you to do by structuring the business is then have one entity own all the assets, one entity manage the business at large, vision, purpose, oversight over to the different areas, and then have a completely other entity handle all the daily operations and daily affairs. Another key benefit of structuring your business is delegation of responsibilities. Speaking mainly internally for the business, it allows you to set up your business in a way that you're able to form different departments or divisions that have a lot more autonomy and ownership over the smaller details. Now, what that allows for is it allows for a greater ease of management, because being a business owner myself and being involved with a couple other businesses with others, it becomes a whole lot easier to deal with daily operations, management, long-term goals, long-term planning, etc., when you don't have to deal with the tiny, repetitive, details that you deal with every day that, especially with a lot of small business owners, they're running everything themselves, working 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and they're not seeing the scalability they want right there, because they're either having to train someone to handle those different things, or their structure is not optimized for ease of scalability. And the last thing, once you do have that set up and you do have outsourced a lot of those different smaller details, and you're able to focus on the company's vision and purpose, long-term planning, long-term finances, it allows for a greater amount of freedom in your life and the ability to manage things at large without having to worry so much from a ground level perspective, although that is something that you still need in every business, because if you get lost in the clouds, you can't see the earth. So how do you structure the business from the ground up? Now, disclaimer, this is not legal advice, this is not tax advice, this is not financial advice. If you need any type of advice, please seek a professional that's competent in those areas. This is for teaching and training purposes only. So a preferred structure that a lot of businesses kind of employ, and this is something that varies from business to business depending on the assets, the nature of the business, who runs it, etc. But a common thing that you see is you'll see a foreign master trust, which ends up holding assets, has no daily operations, a lot of times can handle the liability of the suits either through a higher entity or the entity himself. You have a foreign express trust underneath that, which has the foreign ownership, can also claim tax treaty benefits. You have domestic trusts underneath that. You have your living trust, domestic business trust, etc. These businesses are able to continue to be considered domestic, but the ownership of those businesses is then completely foreign. Underneath that, you'd have your limited liability companies, corporations, things like that, which would own the domestic estates, sole proprietorships, partnerships, joint ventures, all the other types of relationships there. Now, this is an example of a centralized business structure. Mind you, this is not the only way to structure your business. There are a lot of other companies out there, like those big tech startups, Google, Spotify, etc., that have a decentralized structure with a more democratic approach. What I'm presenting today, this example, is a more centralized, pyramid, traditional style that's akin to more of a monarchical structure, which has been employed for many, many hundreds of years, thousands of years, for a specific reason. So, what do you do if you need help with structuring your business? Well, To Be Fruitful Training Group has private equity weekly workshops. The first one will be held this Friday. This one will be held at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We have our exclusive equity live discussions. This is public on YouTube on Thursday evenings. We have private consultations available. We do offer services as far as getting the documents together, properly executing the trust, and forming the trust itself. We have private consultations for other things. If you have another specific matter that's either not listed on the website or not covered on Patreon, we are able to kind of do a 30-minute free consultation to find out whether or not our services work best for you, or if you need something else. And then we do charge $75 per hour thereafter, with 1 hour minimums, just for sake of time. Again, we don't charge for the information. It's really just my time, and that I have to charge for. And we do have a private library. So this private library has almost every resource you need to get an excellent foundational understanding of trust and estate law. So we have Corpus Juris Secundum Book 90, we have Gilbert's Law Summaries on Trusts, White's Concise Trustee Handbook, we have the Treatise on the Law of Trust by Lewin, we have Thompson's Dictionary of Banking, Black's Law Dictionary, Bouvier's Law Dictionary, Anderson's Law Dictionary. There's a bunch of different Harvard Law Reviews, Cornell University Law Reviews, Florida Law Reviews. There's a bunch of different law reviews in multiple different areas. There's a lot of how-to guides. There's a lot of manuals, things like that. We have all the SSK VACs. There's a lot of different treaties there, a lot of historical resources, and a whole lot more. That's also listed on my Patreon, so go check that out. And yeah, so if, like I said, if you need some type of assistance, we have a bunch of different resources available. If you're interested, or you don't see something that's you'd like to know more about, feel free to leave a comment. If you have something that's not listed here, again, put it in the comments, let me know. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. This was a quick insight into how and why businesses are structured. So hope that everybody gained a little bit from this video. So with that, all praises to the Most High. This is B with To Be Fruitful Training Group, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.